Howdy, people. Welcome. I'm Dylan Stewart. Today is day 17. Day 17 of a 100-day challenge. You ever taken on like a really, really big challenge where you're like, wow, that is way too big. It's like 100 days? I don't know that I can do 100 days. That's like more than 3 months. But here we are, day 17 of my 100-day challenge, and I'm still here. So, so far, so good. Hope you all are joining me, finding your way to this page. I'm Dylan Stewart. They call me the North Star Man. You see, I was lost. I mean, really lost. And found myself in such a different headspace for a long time in my life, kind of just putting one foot in front of the other and doing everything that I could to just keep moving. Wake up in the morning, get out of bed, go to work, and God, just make it to the end of the day, climb back in bed. I'm sure you've been in a situation like that where it feels like you don't really know what you're doing or why you're doing it or where you're trying to go. That's the kind of loss that I'm talking about. It's where you don't know why you're in the relationship you're in. You don't know what you're doing in this job or why you're fighting to hold on to this position or this job. It's like you went to school for something and you're not using it and you're kind of lost and trying to figure out, like, who am I? What am I? Why am I here? And I think that kind of discordance that people fall into has a tendency to make us depressed, has a tendency to make us really doubt who we are and what we're doing and what we're trying to do in our lives. And so here I am, lost and kind of not myself, finding it really hard to go from one stage to the next, finding it really hard to just get to the next place in my life. And I had this revelation. I don't want to say it's from beyond, but it was from beyond. I had this feeling of there's something that I'm supposed to do. There's somewhere that I'm supposed to be, someone who I'm supposed to be. And over the course of a couple of years, I gradually started listening more and more and more to that voice until I had this direction. And ever since I've had that direction, I wake up in the morning and I'm ready to go. You don't have to drag me out of bed. You don't have to pour coffee down my throat. I'm actually genuinely happy to be alive and to be in this body and to be on this planet and to be in this part of time, this weird era with the Trump politics and countries that are, changing their entire leadership structure while we watch. Used to think that the 60s had it really going for them. We're like, I wish I'd grown up in the 60s when there was all this music and there was all this excitement and the world was really happening and popping. But the reality is we do live in that era today where everything changes so quickly that between 1 and 2 years, countries are gone. Leaders are gone. Whole ways of being are gone. We're watching society restructure itself in front of us. And it's a really exciting place and time to be alive. So I get this divine direction and it charges me up and it puts me in this place of it's my duty, it's my job to do whatever I can do to help to guide other people to that same sort of realization, that same sort of place. So what I want to talk about today in my day 17, 100-day, whatever you want to call it, challenge, I want to talk today about getting lost. Not intentionally getting lost, but what it feels like when you're lost. What it feels like when you don't really know what you're here for. So, have you ever been on a road trip? You've been on like one of those road trips where you're like, you thought you were going to Florida and you're in the car and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, I wonder what's at that little road shop, and you take a little turn off the road and you can't find your way back. Remember the days before GPS, back with Thomas Brothers maps with like thousands of pages you had to sort through? And if you took one of those side trips, good luck. Except that was part of the journey. You'd be like, oh, well, let's see if we can get back on the road. Oh, let's see if we can find this. Oh, look, there's the largest ball of yarn or the biggest thermometer or whatever it happens to be. And it becomes part of the adventure. You're not lost. You're just seeking where you're going next. And that's where we are today, is so many of us aren't lost. We just don't know what the next step in our destination is. And the reason that happens, as far as I can tell, is because internally, we're not using our GPS. We're not using our vision and our direction. I mean, we're kind of spending our lives looking down, looking down at our phones, but looking down at our feet and not paying attention to what's outside of us? What's down the horizon? What's down the street that's going to help us get to this next place? So that's really the question that you want to start asking yourself and you want to start moving into is this. It's really quite simple. Before you can find yourself and find your direction, you have to ask this question. I'm going to get real close here for you. Okay, ready? Is that too close? I haven't shaved today, so you got to deal with it. Here's the question. Where are you going? Where do you want to go? What's your intention? What's your purpose? Because that's really where you're going to start. You're going to start by looking as far down the road as you can and saying, it'd be really nice to see the largest ball of yarn. Or, hey, I think I might want to be a doctor. Or, wouldn't it be cool to move to another country and see what it's like in Australia? You've got to start with some sort of a vision. As long as you spend your days looking down at your phone or your feed or whatever it is, looking down at right where you are, you're never going to be where you're supposed to be. Wayne Gretzky has a great quote that I love. For those of you who don't know, Wayne Gretzky was a famous hockey player on the Kings, in the LA Kings. And his, I think it was the LA Kings, not much of a hockey fan, so I know the quote. The quote was, "A good hockey player goes where the puck is. A great hockey player goes where the puck is going to be." And that's been my motto for my whole life is, I see where I am. I'm present. I'm here. Yeah, okay. I'm standing here. I've got this business. I've got this direction. I've got these kids. I've got this relationship. I can see exactly where I am. But what I want to do is I want to see where I could be. Where should I be? Where's that puck going to? Where's my heart going? Where do I want to be in my life? Because if we only ever look down and stay right where we are, you're missing this huge opportunity of life. Life's got this amazing tendency to just give you these opportunities and these gifts that just come in. I call them the whispers, where the universe tends to just turn to you and go, hey, turn left here. Turn left right now. And if you listen and you make that turn, what happens next is magical. What happens next could guide you to your fondest dreams, but you've got to start by listening to that intuition. So back to being lost. You're lost in your life. I'm not putting that on you. I'm suggesting that if you are lost in your life, if you found everything you need, rock on, you're awesome. For me, I've spent a lot of time feeling uncertain, confused, a little lost. And so when you're lost, it's usually because you're not looking out. You're looking down. You're not looking in. You're looking at other people to define you. You're looking at other things to define you. You're not asking yourself these hard questions. Who do I want to be? Where do I want to go? What do I need right now that I'm so busy trying to find other people and other things to fill? Am I trying to get into that relationship because I don't love myself? Am I trying to buy that car because I don't know where I'm going and I think maybe a better car will help me get there faster? Where am I? What do I want? So that's step one. And we're going to talk a little more as we go into this series in the next couple of days. I want you to think about it. Where do you want to go? And you can pop it right in the comments section, because that's really the easiest way to do it, is to state it out loud, to claim it, to say out loud to yourself and to anyone who wants to hear, this is where I want to go. This is who I want to be. This is what I'm aiming at. So I'll take the next 60 seconds. Awesome. Yes, there is no shirt that comes close to this, Jim. You know that. All right, so here's the question. I'm going to take my 60 seconds here, and I'm going to tell you what I see about where I want to go and where I want to be. I see myself helping people. I see myself guiding people away from a place of being lost and depressed. I see myself helping people find who they are and discovering their best self. And I feel this amazing joy and sense of well-being knowing that I was a part of helping that person come out of the darkness, of seeing the light and stepping into the life that they're supposed to lead. I see myself living in a beautiful community. In a beautiful community with nature and trees and neighbors. I want neighbors. I see it. I see it. A nice backyard with a hammock that I get to sleep in sometimes because rest is important to me all of a sudden. Maybe I'm getting older, I don't know. I see myself living in a community of people who care about what we're doing to this environment, who care about who we are and what we're building and what we're creating. I see a circle of men around me, men who I trust and men who trust me, and we're working together to build a better future for ourselves, for our children, for our families, and we're moving in that direction too. I see myself helping people, men, women, children. I see myself helping people with these different sides of me. I've got this ability to solve problems that is technological in some cases, emotional in other cases, and physical in other cases. You know, the ability to solve problems is something that's core to who I am, and I see that as being the foundation of where I'm going, where I get to use my problem-solving sense, my intuition, and my presence and love for myself to help change this whole community and the world that we live in, even just a little bit. I want to make a dent in the universe, as Steve Jobs would say. So that's some of my vision, and that's about that much of it. You know, I could spend 6 hours telling you what I see in my future because I dream about it all the time while I'm awake every day. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, and my brain is constantly spinning about building this future, building this amazing way of being. But the question I have for you is, what's your future? What's the next step for you? Forget about 10 years down the line. What do you want to do in the next year? What's one thing that you've been wishing for, praying for, hoping for that you haven't taken the first step in making happen? And why not? So start today, and the first step to getting unlost or being found, or however you want to phrase it, the first step is you got to decide where you want to go next. It may not be where you want to go forever. It may not be, I'm going to be a surgeon living in Switzerland in 80 years from now, helping young children with leg issues. You don't have to be that specific. Just that first step. Do you want to go to another country and you haven't done it yet? You want to go skydiving? Do you want to just get awesome shirts and start wearing them in public and embarrassing yourself with your ridiculous sense of fashion? Because I'm guilty of that. That's me. I really don't care if you like my shirt or not. I wear it because it makes me feel happy and smile. What do you want? That's step one. I'm Dylan Stewart. I'm the North Star Man. I want to thank you for watching today's post. Today was day 17, and it takes me about 2 weeks to get into the groove of these challenges, but I'm now in the groove. So I want you to join me tomorrow. I'll be doing it about 10 o'clock tomorrow as well. And I'm going to come back to this question. We're going to start here. You want to find yourself? Step one, where do you want to go and who do you want to be? Write it down, put it in the comment section, and by all means, share this post. Share it. There are people that I know that you know that are lost and that need it. Also, hit that like, hit that the heart button, whatever you want to do. Give me some reactions and some emotions. Let me know that you're there, that you're paying attention, and that you care, because that's how we're going to get this message out, and this message needs to get out. There's too many people that are stuck looking down, looking at their phones, completely lost and unsure of who they are and who they want to be today, tomorrow, and next week. And you and I together, we're going to help them. We're going to show that way. Thanks so much. Dylan Stewart signing off for day 17. See you tomorrow.